Throughout the history of retail stores, there have been many niche stores that specialize in specific products and target specific demographics. If you wanted clothing, you would go to a clothing store. If you wanted to buy food, you would go to a food market. And if you wanted to buy toys for your children, you would go to a toy store. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most iconic toy stores in history, asking the question, what happened to Toys R Us?
I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less, you really flip your lid.
From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is.
Gee whiz!
I don't want to grow up, cause baby if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys, oh boy,
I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
So all the way back in 1948, Charles P. Lazarus founded a children's furniture store, and then he later started adding toys to the offerings of his store, and this eventually shifted his focus. In 1957, he opened the very first Toys R Us, and changed the name of the original store, which was called Children's Bargain Town, to Toys R Us. Toys R Us began rapidly expanding and later branched out into different types of stores. In the mid to late 1970s, they started experimenting with Kids R Us, a children's clothing store, and later in 1996, in Westbury, New York, opened the very first Babies R Us location. The store operates as a specialty baby products retailer and has grown to approximately 260 locations in the United States. The store offers an assortment of products for newborns, infants, and toddlers. Toys R Us was considered a classic example of a category killer, a business that specializes so thoroughly and efficiently in one specific area that it pushes out competition from both smaller market specialty stores and larger general retailers. But since the rise of mass merchants like Walmart, Target, and Amazon, however, Toys R Us has lost much of its share of the toy market and fell behind Walmart in toy sales for the first time in 1998.
Department. I see kids run down here and have all kinds of fun.
I love toys.
Everyone should play with toys.
Daddy girl, hot wheels.
My personal favorite, the Brat Collection. Have you seen her jacket?
No.
You got your lead pass. Little kid bikes, mountain bikes, bikes for people my size.
Got time for a fire.
I got a lot on my mind right now. Whoa, Christ. Wow, that's cool.
The rise of these new big box retailers scared Toys R Us into trying to make a move to improve the company. The board of directors installed John Ayler. Ayler launched an unsuccessful, expensive plan to remodel and relaunch the chain. He blamed this on market pressures, primarily from the competition of Walmart and Target. Toys R Us began splitting its toy and baby businesses in some areas. And on July 21st, 2005, Bain Capital Partners LLC and Vernado Realty Trust invested $1.3 billion to complete a $6.6 billion leveraged buyout of the company. Toys R Us was now no longer a public company, and the chain was now a privately owned entity after the buyout. So like I said, the attempts to improve the company under Ayler failed. So for the 2009 holiday shopping season, Toys R Us tried a smaller store concept to attract customers, and 90 Holiday Express stores across the United States and Canada were opened. The Holiday Express stores are smaller than regular Toys R Us locations, obviously, and were often located in malls and offer a limited selection of merchandise than would be available at a standard Toys R Us location. Almost all of these stores were supposed to close down after the holiday season, but because of the success of these stores, Toys R Us later changed the name of the stores to Toys R Us Express and expanded to 600 Express locations. 4 more were converted to Toys R Us outlet location stores later. So as you can see, Toys R Us attempted to restructure itself, but on September 18, 2017, Toys R Us filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, stating that the move would give it flexibility to deal with its $5 billion in long-term debt and borrow $2 billion so it can pay its suppliers for the upcoming holiday season. And they also vowed to invest in improving their current operations. The company stated that their brick-and-mortar stores and online sales will continue to operate, but the company had not posted an annual profit since 2013. It reported a net loss of $164 million in the quarter that ended in April 29, 2017, and it lost $126 million in the same period the year prior. On December 4th, the company reported that they would be liquidating and closing 26 of its United Kingdom stores. And later, they announced 182 of its US locations were going to be liquidating their assets as well as part of its restructuring, as well as convert up to 12 stores in its co-branded Toys R Us to Babies R Us locations. As of recording this video, it is currently March 15th, 2018, and news cycles are going crazy reporting on the possible demise of Toys R Us. Toys R Us is expected this week to announce 800 store closures in the United States, as well as 800 store closures around the world. This would pretty much leave Toys R Us without any stores and basically shut down all operations around the world. Right now, there's a possible scenario that they might be able to save the brand if they can find a buyer in time to save 200 stores and take over their $5 billion debt. But that's highly unlikely since they haven't posted any gains since 2013. In my opinion, the demise of Toys R Us is due to big box retailers. It's a lot easier to go to one store for a multitude of different things than to go to one specific store for one specific thing. And I think that's what killed off Toys R Us, the convenience of big box retail. I think Toys R Us's demise was inevitable. It's a brand that served its purpose in its time, but no longer serves that purpose. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
They got a million toys at Toys R Us that she can play with.
I don't wanna go. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They got the best for so much less. You really flip your lid.
From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is.
Gee whiz.
I don't wanna grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
More games, more toys, oh boy.
I wanna be a Toys R Us kid.
I don't wanna grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
I don't wanna grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They've got the best for so much less, you really flip your lid.
From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is.
I don't wanna grow up, 'cause maybe if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
More games, more toys, oh boy.
I wanna be a Toys R Us kid.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
You just said the magic words and look what you did. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
You'll get the best for so much less, you folks will flip the lid.
If it's new and hot.
It's a toy they've got.
And the prices are hard to beat.
I don't want to grow up.
'Cause if I did,
You couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys.
it's the world's biggest toy store. Let's go.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
I don't want to grow up.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They got the best for so much less.
You'll really flip your lid.
From bikes to trains to video games.
It's the biggest toy store there is. Gee whiz!
I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did,
I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. Once a Toys R Us kid.
always a Toys R Us kid. You gotta do the cooking by the book. You know you can't be lazy. Never use a messy recipe. The kid will end up crazy. If you do the cooking by the book, then you'll have a
Break it down, bitch. Let me see you back it up. Drop that ass down, load it, pick that motherfucker up. Break it down, bitch. Let me see you back it up. Drop that ass down, load it, pick that motherfucker up. Now back that pussy, she's a motherfucker.